Hey y'all, hey, I did not get my water. Woo, TikTok, y'all all up in my face. Geesh, why are we so in my face? Let me back up so that I'm not so in my face on TikTok. So I'm gonna be just packing up some sticky notes because I'm preparing for the sellout. I'm preparing for the sellout. So I'm packing up some sticky notes and we're going to talk about what's the title of this on YouTube? I forgot. Um oh Lord. Something having to do with time. Forget your timeline. Hey. Thanks for popping in. Happy Tuesday. Yes, forget about your timeline. That's the topic that's going to kind of make sure that I have something to talk about. But my goal is to try to, one, I'm still trying to sell out my shop, you guys. So if you're interested in, let me make sure to mirror the display because I always forget to do that on TikTok. Let me remember to mirror it. So if you're looking for any gifts, if you have someone in your life, they have a birthday coming up or something like that, you're looking for gifts, I do have 50% off all stationery items. And I don't have a whole lot of inventory left. And so what I decided to do was I decided to combine all the sticky notes that's left into 6 packs. So you get 6 sticky notes and you get 1 pen, and everything is 50% off. So I don't have a lot of them individually. I only have like the I am sticky notes individual in white and brown because I have a lot of those. And because these were my best sellers, so I actually bought a lot of these when I was stocking up. So I have these, and then I have some of the Boss sticky notes that are single. Everything else is combined into sets. So our reading sticky notes are in the 6 pack. You also get a Black History Month sticky note in the 6 pack. And what else do you get in the 6 pack? Some sticky notes for men and just a variety of sticky notes from my shop in the 6 pack. But we're talking about forget about your timeline today. And I feel like it's so important because sometimes we put time on things in our lives, right? So I want to do this by a certain age, or I want to achieve this by a certain age. And a lot of times it don't happen in the time that we say we want it to happen. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, right? So not because something doesn't happen when you want it to happen means that God has forgotten about you, or that your goal is somehow less important than everybody else's goal. So that's what we're talking about today is forgetting about your timeline, doing the work and trusting that things will take its natural course, that things will work out the way that it should work out. And I think that's so important, especially in this age of social media where we feel like everything just seems so instantaneous, right? And it can somehow make us feel like that's how life is, like life is so instantaneous, when that is not the truth. When a lot of the times you don't know the behind the scenes, you don't know how that person has been working and grinding and not seeing success. And when they finally do see the success is when they pop up on your For You page, right? You don't see all the bad videos that didn't get any views. You only see the million views video that pop up on your page. And so I just want us to forget about our timeline and just kind of trust the process. Um, and I'm kind of learning that too, because sometimes it can feel like this is not working, or I'm just putting out all of this effort and I'm not seeing the results, when it's probably just because I'm not seeing the results in my timeline, right? And so, yeah, that's the message for today as I try to pack some of these orders. I've been listening to, I don't know if anybody on YouTube has been following the, how does she pronounce it? RessaTessa story on TikTok. Listen, listen, if I was to spend my whole day just listening to that, that story is 4 hours long. 4 hours long. I've been trying to like pack my little sticky notes and listen to it, but man, oh my gosh, man. Whew. I don't know if anybody has been paying attention to it. You just heard about it. Listen, I'm like, how many people are actually so invested that they're listening to and watching the whole thing? come on. Like, I'm skipping around because as much as I'm intrigued, I'm like, wow, this is long. Oh, you don't have TikTok. I saw somebody post it on YouTube because you know people on YouTube always trying to get the coins. I saw somebody posted like a 4 hour video on YouTube with the whole thing. So like they took all of her videos from TikTok and they combined it all and they posted it on YouTube. Which I don't know how legal that is, but if you are interested, it's almost like a Lifetime movie. And when I was a kid, I used to love Lifetime movies. So I was super interested in what was happening. But then I'm the type of person, and this is how I am with almost everything. I like to know what's going to happen in the end before I actually invest in the series. So, like, even if I'm watching like a TV show and it's old, like it's a TV show that passed, I would go and look at the end of the TV show and then say, okay, this is what it gonna happen. Oh, it got canceled. Okay. And then I go back and I'm like, okay, now I'll watch it because I know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't like to feel that feeling of what's gonna happen when it's something that's ended. And that's kind of why I also don't watch shows that are ongoing because I don't want that feeling of what's gonna happen. Thank you so much. Yes, Jesus does love me and he loves you too. But yeah, I saw it on YouTube this morning. Like if you search RessaTessa full, if you search RessaTessa full series, it should pop up because I just saw it this morning. I was like, how y'all post the whole thing just on YouTube? But yeah, they combined it and it's like 4 hours and something minutes, almost 5 hours. Imagine she put out almost 5 hours of content in just a couple of days. Absolutely ridiculous. That lady was super invested in completing her series. Um, but even her too, like I had to, what was interesting for me, and that kind of ties into the topic for today. It does sound exhausting, yeah. For me, what was most interesting for me is how did this come up? You know what I mean? Because I love a good TikTok story, but I'm always trying to assess credibility. I'm always trying to assess credibility. I don't know what's with that. But so for me, I'm like, how did this story start? Like, what was the backstory? And so I searched through her page because I want to see, is this somebody who's been creating content? Because you know, you have those people on TikTok who are like serial story timers. Like they always have a story to tell. So I'm like, is this a person who just always has a story to tell? So I'm scrolling back through her videos and I'm realizing that she made lots of videos, but she didn't have any like story time. So I'm like, how did this story start? And then I realized that she stitched somebody's video. So somebody asked, like, what's the worst thing your ex has ever done? And she stitched that video and then people were now interested because she kind of gave like a summary of the series. So it was almost like a preview. Like she's smart. Like it was almost like a preview. So she gave like a preview and then people were interested. That video got like a million views. Hey, I'm doing well. How are you? So the preview got like a million views. So now people are interested. People are like, we want to know more about this story. And so then she takes that and she creates this 50-part series. And it's almost like we need to find some way to do that in our business. Like, how can we give like a little preview of this amazing thing that we're about to create? Not give too much away, create enough excitement, create enough, like leave people on this cliffhanger where they want to know more and then you deliver the more. And a lot of times that's exact project and you're giving these little teasers and then boom, you're launched and it's successful. So I felt like she just executed that so perfectly. And then it also goes to show again with the title of this YouTube about forgetting your timeline, right? Because she could have just came out and told the story, but nah, sis was preserving her story. Sis was waiting for the right time. And she found the perfect video to stitch, because we have to think about how this got set up, right? Somebody made a video. She stitched it. So she had nothing to do with this person's video. Nothing to do with this person. Probably doesn't even know the person at all. Stitches that video and then sets up her series. Like, talk about God just showing up at the right time. Like, how? Because I'm just like, this did not come out of nowhere. Like, did she just say, okay, I'm going to tell this story? People wouldn't have caught on. It wouldn't have been as interesting if they didn't know, like, how did this end up? Now I'm invested because you already told me kind of the end of it. And I need to know the whole journey getting there. So that's how I looked at it. Most times I'm like seeing things online. It's like, I don't really care about what's happening. All I care about is, how can I pick out the business and marketing things from this that happened? Because I'm not really that invested. Like, you are alive, you made it out. People get in bad marriages every single day. God delivered you. And so that's all I need to know, is that you're good and you're great and you're telling this story. But in terms of like the fine details of the series, I just want to know the business things that I can pick out. How can I apply something from this useful to my life or my business and keep it pushing? Because 4 hours is a long time. 4 hours is a long time. But yeah, sometimes we have to trust the process. You know, we can't try to rush ahead of everything. Like, sometimes it's just about letting nature take its course and seeing how great things happen just from that, because that's literally what happened with her. She let nature take its course. Sis did not rush to come tell this story. She got the perfect setup, and I'm sure she didn't even know it. And now lots of people are saying like they would watch it on like Netflix, or they would watch it on so she could possibly get a whole, like, if she plays her cards right, she could get a whole TV show out of this. I saw what's wrong with my stamp? I saw Tubi. Is that how it's pronounced? Y'all, I can't pronounce words. I think it's Tubi. I saw Tubi in the comments, like, we're here. Tubi was like, we're here and we are ready and listening in. So that could change her life. Telling that story at the right time, could change her life. And I think that's what's most important, is that it's at the right time, because it's just the right time. It was the right time and the right setup. So we can't miss our opportunities. Like, sometimes when you get an idea, what if she had never stitched the video? What if she was like, I'm not gonna stitch this video? Because, you know, sometimes your mind, like, you get the idea to do something and we just don't follow through. We don't follow through. You know what I mean? And that happens to me all the time. Like, I would get the idea to start to design a new product. Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? I would get the idea to like design a new product and I don't follow through with it. And you never know if that's you missing your opportunity, missing your blessing. Here you are asking God to come and help you and come and give you this great idea, and you get it and you just don't do anything with it. Like, just think about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not to say we need to act on every single idea that pop into our minds, but we have to get to a place where we can really determine which one is the one. You know what I mean? And that takes time too. That takes forgetting your timeline and just letting things come to you and not trying to rush the process. But yeah, so many important gems that we could take away from her story. I like to be your friend when you come to India. Child, I don't think I'll ever make it to India. I don't think I'll make it to India. But if I do make it to India, it's nice to know that I have people in India who are watching my videos. I appreciate that. Right now, I'm trying to get out of the US. And the US government is trying to keep me here. The US government does not want me to leave. I will pray for you for sure. Let me make sure to look at your name so I can remember your name in my prayers. The US government doesn't want me to leave. I've been trying to leave for a long time. Like, I just want to be on an island. And you know what I tried to do? Look how this conversation has just gone from left to right. I went to St. Croix because St. Croix is the closest thing to a Caribbean island that I can get right now. So I went to St. Croix. Oh gosh, tell me why St. Croix was such a huge disappointment for me. I think maybe my expectations were too high because I'm thinking it's the island, you know? So I'm like trying to get the island vibe. But it was more like a deserted island. And I'm just like, how can we send some assistance to St. Croix for it to just be this beautiful place that I have in my mind? Because in my mind, I had it as just this beautiful place. And then I get there and it's almost like crickets. Like the hotels are empty, the streets are deserted. And I'm just like, what's happening, St. Croix? But apparently they say most people go to St. Thomas instead of St. Croix, I didn't know that because growing up I always heard about St. Croix. I never really heard about St. Thomas. So I didn't know that most people go to St. Thomas and not St. Croix. Whew. So that was not the best vacation because it was just, and although don't get me wrong, I don't really like being around a lot of people, but you don't want to be on an island and it's empty because that also means that there are no activities that are actually happening. So yeah, that's the last vacation I had in St. Croix, which was not great. You're trying to get out of the US too? Where do you want to go? Okay, here we have well, that's good. That's definitely where I want to be. I need to stop. Maybe I'm not putting the stamps on properly, you guys, because I'm just messing up all of these. Maybe I need to create some space to actually stamp these properly. I think going to India would be too expensive. I don't think I have the money to go to India. Like, it'll probably be like a my business blew up again type of trip. But yeah, trusting your timeline. That's kind of not trusting, what am I saying? Forgetting about your timeline was the message for today. And I did not get a whole lot of sticky notes packed. But yeah. I need to try going live on YouTube, on Facebook, because I'm not good at Facebook. And me packaging the sticky notes is me preparing for the orders that are gonna come so I can just ship them out, because that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of times people are like waiting for sales or waiting to see success in their business, but they're not doing the things that can make, when that success comes, make it easy or make it worth, not be too stressful. It's like you have to spend time doing the things that are important, even though you don't see the sales. It's almost like preparing for the blessing, right? You have to prepare for the blessing. You have to make room for the blessing. And this is not, and when I say this, I'm not speaking about the new age adaptation of this, like very much from a God perspective, very much from Jesus perspective. And so lately have been trying to make sure that whenever I have these ideas, I'm not pulling them from the new age perspective, because everything for me needs to be God centered, because that's just my belief. And I feel like sometimes we see things and we don't think about the spiritual connection of it, right? So I don't want to, like, I'm trying to move away from saying things like manifesting. Like, yes, the Bible says ask, believe, receive, but I feel like the social media definition of manifesting is completely different from what I believe. So, just making that clarification real quick before I continue. So yeah, so I like to kind of prepare for the blessing. It's almost like, nope, that did not work. It's almost like if you know someone is going to come over to your house, you start cleaning up, you start preparing for the guests that you're expecting and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing with like packing the sticky notes, even though I don't have the orders for them yet. I'm preparing. So when you do place your order, it's all set and ready to go and it's been waiting for you. Because usually I do this when I get the order. I don't usually put them in the bags until I get the orders. Um, but since I have some time on my hands, I figured I'll do it. And something else I was noticing too, like I was on TikTok live yesterday, like last night, and I got like 3 orders, but nobody said that they ordered. And I'm just like, well, this wasn't successful. And then I get like 3 orders. So I'm like, sometimes people are watching you and you don't even know, especially like on TikTok where they don't have to click into your live. Sometimes people just like watch you and they don't pop in, they don't say hi, they're just observing. And then you're thinking that, oh, nobody's supporting me or nobody's doing this, when the person is literally there, been supporting you the whole time, and you just too caught up on how the support doesn't look the way you want it to look. So that's kind of because I was actually surprised when I got the 3 orders, and I know it's from TikTok because I can see the link tracking a lot of times, so I can see that they come from social media. If I get a share and save order, I know that the person didn't find me on Etsy, because they put that little tag there. So when somebody purchases something and they didn't find you from Etsy, they kind of let you know that the person clicked on that link that you placed. So yeah, sometimes we think things aren't working and they're working. That's another thing here. So many messages in this video, y'all. And I think that's why sometimes going live is so hard, because it's like, what do you talk about? Like, what do you talk about when you go live? It's like, most times I have a topic, but usually the conversation just kind of evolves. This is so cute. This is my favorite sticky note. Yeah, for sure. And this is usually the time when I pop off of here. I'm probably gonna stay live on TikTok and actually turn into an infomercial like I've been doing. Um, because when I come on YouTube, I'm not really doing an infomercial, but when I'm on TikTok, I'm doing an infomercial. I'm just like, hey, this is this sticky note that can help you with this. It can help you with this and do this and do this and do this and perfect gift. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like a full-on infomercial. But when I'm on YouTube, I'm more of the business person. And so, yeah, I need to, I'm going to log off of YouTube and get in my full infomercial mode. But I hope that this live was helpful. I know we were kind of all over the place. We talked about a lot of different things, but I guess to summarize, the message is that you really should be just focusing on the things you need to do to get where you're going, not focus on a timeline for those things, because a lot of times our timeline is just us. Like, we can't put a timeline on God. You can't tell God to bless you tomorrow, because that just goes against everything that we believe in and everything that He believes in. And so if you truly trust that God is the author of your life, then you need to just do the things that you can do, control what you can, and stop putting timeline on things. Stop putting timeline on things. And that is also why I don't put a timeline on my prayers anymore. So I'm not like, God, I want to achieve this in this amount of time. No, I'm like, God, this is where my heart is, and meet me there if it's your will. And I like to end everything with, if it's your will, because if it's not your will, I don't want it. If it's not your will, I don't want it. And so I encourage you to apply that to your businesses. And I'm sure that if you do that, you'll start to feel successful each and every day, even if the numbers don't look like what you want them to look like. And so I do hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day. If you have not checked out my latest video, please, please, please go ahead and check out that video. Give me a like, give me a comment. That video covers, what does that video cover? It covers how to get your first 100 sales on Amazon KDP. But the strategies that I share in that video can really be applied to any platform that you're selling your books on. So these are general strategies that can be applied to any platform you're selling your books on. And so I encourage you to go ahead and check out that video. Also, if you look at how I just turned into the whole, you did. Thank you so much for watching, Sherry. I appreciate that. I was just gonna say, look how I just turned into a whole. It's time for the announcements. And so the last announcement I do have is that if you have not yet signed up for your free 1 month of Book Bolt, we do have that giveaway. It is on my Book Bolt video. I'm going to post it on the community tab. So if you have not signed up to win 1 month free of Book Bolt, then I encourage you to go ahead and sign up for that, because Book Bolt is an amazing resource that you can actually use to create not just books to sell on KDP, but books to sell on other platforms. And I'm probably going to make a video showing how you can kind of create your books in Book Bolt and list them on platforms like Lulu. So thank you so much for signing up as well, Sherry. I hope that you win. Woo, 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 woo. So yeah, that is actually it for this video. Thank you all so much. And I'm going to see you on Thursday in my live, as well as Thursday for the new video. Bye.